My name is Mike Bear. I'm with Free Speech Media. Can you tell me your first name?
Jane?
Give us your message. What is it you want people to know? Why are you out here, and what is it that made you passionate about talking about what's happening today?
I think if people knew how much information they are not getting from mainstream media, they would be frightened. It was only a year ago that I asked a young person, what do you do for news? Do you read the Globe and Mail, the National Post? He says, no, I subscribe to some weird thing on the internet. And I thought, oh, that's very odd. Well, a year later, she was right. I am just stunned at the number of university professors, MDs, PhDs, who are giving their opinion on anti-COVID measures, who are telling the truth about
You're
the
talking
statistics.
about the Great Barrington Declaration.
Oh, that's only one thing.
Oh, there's lots, right?
Oh, there
There's
is a
lots.
whole list.
Yes.
Do you want to see the other
Sure,
side?
sure, you can show me whatever you like. Actually, I'll back up a bit so that I can get your whole sign there. It says medical officers, cost-benefit analysis, examination, D- fail. I wouldn't give them a D-, I'd give them an F-.
Well, you're probably right, but by then I'd already put it with magic marker. Yeah. So, the other thing is the whole meme about a vaccine
Yeah.
does not make sense for something where the average age of death is in the mid-80s.
Right.
It has been also noted in eminent journals
Yes.
that the immunity of children is quite extraordinary. They
Yes.
have less
There's
problems.
almost no children affected
No
by it
children
at all.
died in Canada,
Yes.
and they have less problem with it than the flu. And this includes
Can I hold your sign for a second? I just rather get a shot of you.
everybody who is under 20.
Yes.
Also, asymptomatic transmission, all of this business of wearing masks, that's also been refuted recently, inconsistent with the remark made by the spokeswoman of the WHO, quote, we are not seeing the asymptomatic transmission we expected.
Now, you're talking about the Wuhan results where they tested 10,000 people and they found that there was no asymptomatic transmission, or there's
That was, yes.
or the mask study was the Danish study where they found that there's no
There was
difference
more than
between-
one.
Oh, there's been 40
Yes.
years of scientific evidence that say paper and cloth masks don't have any effect on stopping the spread
Well,
of,
that one is masks, and one is
viruses
the whole asymptomatic transmission was one of the excuses for putting healthy people in masks. But back to the vaccine.
Yes.
In addition to the immunity of the young,
Yes.
there are highly respected epidemiologists saying there is clear evidence that there is a lot of immunity within the population.
Yes.
And the statistics show that for young, healthy people, COVID is not a significant risk. So now they talk about forcing vaccines on everybody. Well,
insane.
excuse me, where is the ethics behind
No.
forcing the
It totally
vaccine
violates
onto?
the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
You're forcing a vaccine
Totally.
on a child or a young person who does not need it.
Well,
Worse still, the vaccine
How are
is
they
novel.
getting away with this? This is treason. This is something like the leadership of our country should be put on trial.
I believe they're getting away from it, away with it, because mainstream media's budget has been cut so much because people won't subscribe and the advertisers won't pay.
Because
And
they
then
have no credibility anymore. Remember
No,
the days when
well,
they're-
which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right.
So now they cannot afford to hire good science reporters. There's nobody with a Bachelor of Science who has done statistics who would read the nonsense coming out. Oh, all of these people died. Yes, but their average age was 85, and in a normal day, that many die from respiratory disease.
Well, it's even more unusual than that. The average age of death with COVID is actually higher than the average life expectancy. So these are
Indeed.
people that actually lived a few extra years of life
Yes.
that were, would have died earlier if they had actually been average.
I don't downplay that there are some sad cases of younger people. It is probably some deficiency or another, and the doctors are not doing enough to discover what the difference is.
Well,
But that doesn't mean you have to, unfortunately, politicians have to be cold-blooded, and they have to make the decision that what is in the greatest good for the greatest number. So if I go to my doctor and he says, if you throw 500 people out of work and bankrupt one small business,
Yes.
you will be able to postpone your exposure to COVID virus for 6 months to a year. Would I do it? No, because I'm not that unethical. I'm of the older generation. I'm on my way out,
Yes.
and I do not have the right to throw 500 people out of work
No.
and shut down one small business because I might be susceptible to COVID. Sorry. And here's the other thing, may I mention this, the argument now is that the hospitals are overrun.
Yeah.
Well, who did that?
But they're not
But-
overrun.
Well, even if they are, Premier Ford had all summer long, and the federal government spent billions of dollars paying people not to work. What if they had spent that money building field hospitals? What if they had spent that money
Yeah.
on raising the salary of the frontline workers,
I
including the PSWs?
I agree.
They didn't do a single thing
No.
to gear up to treat the disease. All they did was try to do something impossible, and that was to prevent it. They were told by Canadian infectious disease specialists, you're trying to stop the wind.
Exactly.
Just stop.
Exactly. But how could they do these kind of things? It seems like you could have picked an idiot off the street and they would have done a better job managing this whole thing.
The gullibility of the people
Yes.
is. I'm listening to the announcement. Can you hear what they're saying?
Okay, well, let's do this interview and conclude it another time. It's been very nice talking to you. You seem very knowledgeable. You don't seem like a yahoo to me. Doug Ford calls the people that come out here to yahoos.
I'm not a yahoo. I'm a member of Mensa.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's like the opposite of yahoo.
yeah. And I'm not spouting conspiracy theories.
No. Very good. Would you mind if we did have another chat later on?
Absolutely, if I
Thank you
last
so
that
much.
long.
Thank you. Here's your sign, and